Hello there, and right now I'm going to be showing you some of the rules and the steps to animating with Legos. I would show you a little Lego dude right now that I'm going to be using, but it's under a whole bunch of junk, which brings me to my first rule. Have a clean area, which is what I need to do. Okay, so now that we have a somewhat clean area, we need to get to the Legos, which is, like I said, what I'm going to be animating. It is under a whole bunch of stuff, but this is the Lego baseboard that I'll be using. It's obviously smaller than this. That's why I chose it. Now, you need to get to the Legos in order to make this work. So that's rule number 2. Have whatever you're animating somewhere where you can get to it easily. I kind of disobey this rule often. Alright, so let me get the stuff. Okay, so now we have our baseboard and our Legos, which I actually have a lot of. And for this test animation to show you, I am going to animate this Lego figure. Well, he's just going to walk across. I'm not really sure what else to do right now. Anything else I do is going to be too epic and awesome to show you. But I'm going to have him walking across the frame, or the baseboard, whatever you want to call it. So, here we go. Oh, and I almost forgot. You want to have a good light source and a background. And now we're ready to begin animating. Now, the first frame that I'm going to do, it's not really going to be a frame, it's just going to be me showing you how to move this. You take your Lego minifigure, and if you want to have him walk, these are the rules to make steps to have him walking. Step 1, make sure he doesn't fall down. I should have chosen a different character. You will move a leg forward, and then, you know what, hold on a sec, I'm getting a different guy. Somebody who can actually hold on to the bottom. This guy. It's cool anyway. Alright. Let me start that over again. Give me a second. Now, stay. Like I said, the first thing that you want to do is get one leg moving. So you go up, move a leg forward, and then you would take the frame. So that would be the first frame. I'm going to do the next couple frames which show him walking across over to here. I just realized I didn't really break it down enough. So, like I was saying, move this leg forward, and like you saw in the other one, move the character forward so that now this leg is in front of him, this foot is in front of him, and this one is in back. So it looks like he's taking a step and leaving that well, it looks like he's taking a regular step. Then you would take that frame and then have both feet next to each other. And you could actually make that into a pause if you used enough frames for that pose. But basically what you would do is you would repeat those steps to have him just with the opposite sides, to have him walking across. So the next frame, the one that was behind, is now in front, and the one that was right next to him is now behind him. And now they're both next to him again. You get the idea. Okay, I'm gonna finish animating. Now, that's just with using, well, that's just animating regularly, that's unedited. The edited version, which I speed up, I speed it up by 2, will actually look like this. It's much shorter. Okay, so now we're going to learn how to make a pivot animation. What I use is Pivot 3.1 Beta. You'll get a basic stick figure right here. And I'm just going to, now I'm not going to worry about the dimensions. Now, what you want to do is, when you're making a stick figure animation, you would put the stick figure in a relaxed position, not with his arms out and all that. What I usually do is I have him facing a certain way, so I would turn that arm like that, move the legs so that it looks like he's facing this way. Now, I'll get to the rules in just a second, but step 1, take a frame. It's going to appear up here, so you take the frame, it's right there. The good thing about this program is when you move whatever it is you're going to move, it leaves a shadow right there. So then you take a frame, move it, take a frame, move, and then you just repeat that. I'm going to have him waving until you get to the end of your animation. What I really like about animating with a computer is it doesn't matter if you mess up, you can go back and change it. Whereas if you use a if you're animating with Legos, you gotta get it in the first shot, or else you gotta do the whole thing over again. I'm not gonna have him waving, I'm just gonna put his arm up and down. And you move him down. Start moving that arm down, or you can move it down whenever you want to start moving it down. I want to move this forward. And there you go. Now it's on repeat, so it should play fine. Alright, and that's basically a main tutorial for making a pivot animation. Now, some things that you want to take into consideration. GIF animations and video itself take up a lot of memory. I mean, it may not seem too much like it, but it takes up a lot of memory. If you... Let's see, where am I? Disk F, if I remember correctly, I saved my stuff in here. That's not very much area of... Well, that's not much area of memory. But after a while, that builds up, which is why when I'm done with my animations for whatever it is I'm working on, I get rid of them. I just... yeah, I bring them to the trash and then completely delete them. Yeah, so that's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is to actually have the animation program and something to edit it with. I use Windows Movie Maker, and that's actually what I'm using to make this, how to animate with everything. Let it load up. And that's basically what I've gotten so far with the animations. This is the Lego animation, which is stop action. And right from here, onward, I'm going to be talking about this. So, those are the basics of pivot animation. Okay, now that we've gone through pivot animation and Lego animation, I'm going to show you a much more challenging form of animation. It is the easy tune animation. I'm not going to worry about the dimensions because I'm not going to actually make something for this, because it would take too long, and I don't want to make this overly too long, because even though it is already. These stalling for time. Okay, this is an animation that I made on my own. Well, obviously. Again, rules. The same rules apply to this form of animation as well as pivot animation. Yeah, the same rules apply, so that's the rules in a nutshell. Now, steps. Step 1, you actually have to draw the frame. That's what this is right here. The outside is the next frame, which is what I've already done. When you get to this frame, there's going to be another one on the outside, and that one's still going to be there, only that one's going to be blue. So anyway, so what you want to do is you draw your first frame, next frame it, draw a second frame, next frame, another frame. Notice how that's starting to form into what looks like an explosion. Third frame, fourth frame, fifth frame, sixth frame, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. And that's it. These down here, these are the last frames. Now, now let's see how that looks all together. For some reason, it plays pretty sketchy, but Now, that's mine. I will be showing you a much better animation. It's on YouTube. It's called The Door. And it's just better, by all means. Okay, so that one didn't take too long because there wasn't really much to explain. So those are 3 easy ways to animate.